in fourth position for company alongside him. Next up on the grid is the Czech driver Nikita Moisov in P5. For company, he has the Canadian Andrew Brooks, great qualifying in the Toyota GR Supra concept machine. Konstantinos Konstantinou alongside in 7th position, with Angel Inostroza in 8th position. Next up on the grid, that is Patrick Blajan from Hungary in P9. And completing the top 10 is the Spaniard Jose Serrano. P11 on the grid is Taj Ayman from Malaysia. Then it is Matheus Sirigaya, the Thai driver in P12. P13 on the grid is the Australian Adam Wilk. And then next up, it is Stanford Cho, the driver from Hong Kong in P14. And 15th and last on the grid is Danny Solis. Sadly, we are missing Igor Fraga here once again for this grand final.
Yeah, same as before already. Valerio Gallo looking to try and get away quickly on that soft compounder tyre and make the most of his last race. Double points here, so it's all to play for.
Certainly is then. So wait for those red lights then to come on. Valerio Gallo on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is Mikael Hazal, who is going to get the lead down towards the first corner. And who will we be crowning as the winner of the first ever Olympic Virtual Series motorsport event? Red lights on, green light, and go. Good start there from Gallo. Great start from Mikael Hazal off the front row of the grid. Not bad at all in the background there from Baptiste Beauvoir in 3rd position, and Takuma Miyazono as they run side by side, 3 wide for 2nd place there as Gallo gets the whole shot. It's Hazal on the inside, but they're going to flick it left, and on the brakes onto the inside we go. Miyazono's got track position. Beauvoir's in the middle of a bit of a sandwich there. Hazal goes the long way around the outside. It's all continuing up through those couple of corners. Hazal is the driver who emerges on top. Big old slide there from Baptiste Beauvoir. Andrew Brooks in and amongst the mix there as well as he gets his elbows out early doors after a difficult qualifying. He's up the inside and he's into the side of Baptiste Beauvoir. He's off the track, Beauvoir, so 2 wins from 2 races and disaster on the opening lap, and he's hit by Sirigaya as well.
Oh, it's disaster for Baptiste Beauvoir, all the way down to the back of the field now, and he has it all to do, and this is double points. This is the worst possible outcome for lap 1 for Baptiste. 4 seconds off the back of the grid now, but meanwhile at the front, Andrew Brooks has a rocket start, of course, on that soft compounder tyre. He's now coming down the hill towards the heavy braking zone. Right-hander here, Miyazono in the inside, wants to try and get by. It's now side by side coming up chicane. It's very, very much one at a time from here. Brooks gets onto the grass. Miyazono up into 4th place. Moisov, though, still keeping 3rd for now on that medium compound, and he'll be trying to do his best to keep that position and hold up the soft runners for as long as possible.
Trying to run through the chicane there as they run out to the walls. You saw a few of them just running it a little bit too hot as they come in towards the final corner. So Brooks is on the soft tyre, as is Miyazono in front. It's Hazal and Moisov who are the drivers that are going to be on the back foot here, because they are on the medium compound of tyre, and of course they're going to be significantly slower than those drivers behind in the opening stage of this race, and they know that. Hazal has got defensive, as has Moisov there as well, but Miyazono's got the overspeed, he's got track position, and he's got the slipstream there as well. The only saving grace here for the Czech driver in 3rd place is that he's got the slipstream with Mikael Hazal in front. Onto the brakes, into the chicane we go. Hazal there does just manage to hold on to 2nd position for now, but they're coming into the infield section, and that is where we're going to see the soft tyres really have an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. You have just so much more speed in that soft compounder tyre, in the cornering and in the braking and in the traction, basically everywhere. So if you're on the medium compounder tyre and you're in this mix, you're doing a good job. Miyazono there sees his chance to pounce on Nikita Moisov, gets it done on the right hander there, gets a better traction, and now goes after Mick Hazal on that medium compound in front. There you go, they snake down the hill there. Back up again towards the crest and over the horizon, and we plunge down to the tight right hand. A great overtaking spot as they kick up dust there on exit, using all the circuit and a little bit more, as they always do in these races. Moisov going defensive there on Brooks as Miyazono looks up the inside of Hazal, who goes deep, runs wide onto the left hander, almost puts it off into the grass, but just about recovers, keeps the place for now.
So really easy to do that there, running a little bit too wide. Life point standings you can see on your screen. If it stays as it was, it'd be Valerio Gallo who would sit and become the winner of the Olympic Virtual Series motorsport event here, with Hazal finishing in 2nd. Baptiste Beauvoir being a non-scorer down in 15th position would see him tumbling all the way down to 4th in the standings. Here's Miyazono down the inside at the final corner. The Japanese driver's on the inside. Andrew Brooks fancies a slice of the pie there as well as Hazal runs it out wide on the medium compound of tyre. Brooks on the soft tyre there is now up into 3rd place. So 2 positions lost in the space of 1 corner there for Mikael.
Now, and whilst Mick is falling down the order there, bear in mind he is still on that slower compounder tyre, so this is sort of the positions we expect to see them in after a little while. The important thing is Those in the medium tyres did hold up those in front as Brooks goes for a late lunge there, and Takuma Miyazono just did not expect that, I think. And as a result, they go side by side, slow each other down, and Mick Hazard is backed by Andrew Brooks. That is not what the Canadian driver wanted at all.
Into the right-hander we go. Look there at Moitov, who's now on the inside of Brooks. So again, this is just how quickly it's all changing. They're all duffing each other up, and the problem is they're compromising their own races as a result of this there as well. So now Brooks has gone from challenging for second position to trying to defend fourth place here from Nikita Moisov. Inestrosa's ready to join the party as they go into the left-hander, onto the grass on the outside there. We look at a replay of what happened into that corner, so flicking it right there. And this is on the first lap. This is with Baptiste Beauvoir. Contact there with Andrew Brooks into the right. That sent the Frenchman down the order. Then, of course, we saw him have contact with SyilaGamez later on, which then sent him right to the back of the field.
It would have been okay, actually, about that contact, I think, but that contact really did him dirty. So here he is now, 15th and last, now trying to make his way back up through the field, past SyilaGamez and past Wilk in one move. I think this is a man possessed. I can imagine just the rage after the first corner, and now it's just pure intent. I am getting back up the field no matter what it takes to this soft compound tyre. Two cars in one corner, and Baptiste Beauvoir now on a charge from the back of the field.
Lovely job there from Baptiste Beauvoir on the medium tyre compared to the hard compound of Wilk and SyilaGamez there, but nonetheless, very impressive stuff indeed. A 5-second penalty there for Andrew Brooks. That'll be for the contact that we saw earlier on with Baptiste Beauvoir, so that's a disaster for the Canadian driver. He's going to have to serve that, and that is really going to compromise this grand final.
Yeah, stewards have been really hot on contact in this Olympic virtual series, and Andrew Brooks unfortunately not able to escape the steward's wrath on this occasion. 5-second penalty, that's going to pretty much put him out of this contention for the top 3, top 4 in this race, and again gives Mick Hazard a bit of a break. This is falling the Germans' way, I must say, at the moment.
Yeah, very nicely done there for Mikael Hazard. Luck is favouring the German driver, as you said there, Jimmy. The penalty line is about to be served there for Andrew Brooks, and that is going to feel like a fortnight, that 5-second penalty there for the Canadian driver. Drops down to 6th position, out of harm's way for Angel Inestrosa and Konstantinos Konstantinou then, who are in 4th and 5th position there respectively. But either way, Brooks now with a lot to do on soft tyres, and you might think, well, okay, that's fine, he's on soft tyres, but the problem is they're coming towards the end of their shelf life before long.
Yeah, definitely, and you'll see this medium tyre start to come into their own. It's been a good start from Angel Inestrosa. He's +4 at the moment on his grid position, so he's went up a few paces from where he started. Again, a quick reminder, if maybe you're tuning in just for this last race, welcome to the Olympic Virtual Series. Myself, I'm Jimmy Robert, next to Tom Brooks, and we're taking you through all the action today. Something to keep in mind is, oh my, Konstantinou there just about avoiding the exit wall on the exit of the corner there. I actually tagged it a little bit, slowed him down a tiny bit, and fell back a little bit from Angel Inestrosa. But what I was going to say, of course, is this last race, the grand final, it is double points. So right now, Valerio Gallo looks to take home a massive point haul, 24 points in total, plus actually the 1 point he currently has for the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that 1 point could come in to be very crucial indeed. Blažan and Cho go into the pit lane there, as do a lot of the hard runners, in fact all of the hard runners now into this race. Interesting to see the diversions in strategy here, because Blažan goes from hards to soft, everybody else going from hards to mediums there. So Blažan's still going to run the the medium compound tyre towards the end of this race, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out for the Hungarian driver.
It will be, and this is the thing. You have to sort of choose when you want to be quick in the race, when do you want to be fast, and Baptiste Beauvoir, who we're currently looking at now, this is someone who would have planned his strategy based on being at the front of the field. Now he's got to try and adapt it the best he can to try and get through and try and survive to the end. Here's Nikita Moisov, Czech Republic driver, making his way through middle sector. Mick Hazard, of course, the lead of the medium runners. He has Angel Inestrosa behind. Again, it's been a good race from Angel, actually. This is what we're more used to seeing. I'd say a little bit anonymous in the first 2 races, 8th in the first and 8th in the second race. So this is we're used to seeing him at the sharp end. This is where he belongs, really.
Absolutely, yeah. We do really rate Angel Inestrosa. If you've watched the FIA Gran Turismo Championships World Tour events, he won for Porsche in the World Tour in Tokyo back in 2019. Hugely impressive performance on his debut in the World Tour event as well. And we hold him in very high regard for that, and amongst a number of other very impressive performances, and this is what we're used to seeing for him. Baptiste Beauvoir, though, the man on a mission, he started right at the sharp end of the grid. Contact on the opening lap sent him spiralling to the back of it. He's now made his way up to 9th place. Of course, everybody else around him has pitted, and he's now right behind Taj Ayman and Nikita Moisov for 8th and 7th position, respectively.
Talk about aggression. He is absolutely throwing this car around at the moment. I have no idea how he's kept himself cool. I would be shaking like a leaf right now. You know, you finished first in both of the Olympic Virtual Series races so far. We're in the grand final and you just get shoveled off at the first corner in the one that matters, the grand final, double points, and now you have to work your way back through the field. But this is what separates the drivers that are good to those who are great, and this is what this series is all about, finding those great drivers.
Yeah, as it stands at the moment, Baptiste Beauvoir will be finishing in 4th position in the standings, despite having taken 2 wins in race 1 and race 2. It would be a disaster there for the Frenchman, given his pace has just been absolutely faultless so far here today, and an unfortunate incident on that first lap could be set to cost him very dear indeed. Of course, he'd have been taking a lot of tyre life out compared to those in front of him as well.
Bear in mind, behind Baptiste Beauvoir, the points are so close at the moment that whoever finishes first on track out of Gallo, Mierzona and Hazal will be our winner.
This is going to be exciting then, isn't it? I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to play out here, because we've still got 12 laps of this race remaining. We've still got strategy, we've got tyres coming into play here as well. And, well, it is going to be an exciting climax, I am sure, then, to this race. Through the chicane, threading the eye of a needle at 130 miles an hour as these guys keep it on the straight and narrow.
On board with Baptiste Beauvoir as we come down now. There's Mick Hazal. Oh, into the pit lane comes Mick Hazal. Valerio Gallo as well, opting to come into the pit lane as well. So Gallo's now going from soft to medium. Hazal going from medium to hard tyres. So we're probably going to see that gap open up a little bit between the two of them. Meanwhile, Constantino is going on to the soft compound of tyres. So he's going to be quick in this an extent. So watch out for the Greek driver. Let's see what he can do. This is where it matters. You want to be using that soft tyre in as clear as air as possible, because if you're fighting other people, you're just taking it off a tyre and you're just taking away the time that you can use to really push for those fast lap times.
All the while, that allows Takuma Mierzona to make hay whilst the sun shines at the top of the field. 3.4 seconds, the advantage sits over Angel Inestrosa. The good news is here for Valerio Gallo, having made that pit stop, crucially, he's come out in some clean air. He's 6.9 seconds behind Baptiste Beauvoir. So whilst he is on that fresher compound of medium tyres as it stands at the moment, he can just set his own race, set his own lap times, and not worry too much about those who are in front of him are on different strategies.
Yeah, sometimes that's what it's about. It's about just making sure you're running your own strategy. This is why we went to Beauvoir and said he's got a bit of a problem now, because he's got to try and run this amended strategy. Here is Baptiste Beauvoir coming up behind Taj Ayman, the Malaysian driver at the moment. Heavy on the brakes. Oh, wow, okay, a little bit too heavy on the brakes there. I think maybe just clouted the back there of Taj Ayman in front. He wasn't really expecting to see Baptiste Beauvoir in his mirrors, I think, in this race, let alone at the corner down the bottom there. I don't think there was any bad intent there at all. Sometimes you just get a little bit late on the brakes. Oh, it's always spooky watching them go through the chicane, because it's such a commitment complex. You have to really be pushing through there to make things work. And there goes Baptiste Beauvoir up the inside there of Ayman and up into 5th place, and Takuma Mierzona and Angel Inestrosa into the pits.
Andrew Brooks also getting himself through into 3rd position on Nikita Moisov in that final corner as well. So it's all going off into the last turn. The top 4 drivers then coming into the pit lane at the end of lap number 7. They go on to the hard tyres. Everybody but Takuma Mierzona, who goes soft to the mediums then. So he's going for a bit of a different strategy then here from the race lead as it stands. Where is Valerio Gallo going to emerge though? He comes back out of the the rest of the drivers come back out of the pit lane. Valerio Gallo with a clear advantage of 4.8 seconds now it sits.
Now he's going to be using that tyre, I think, right till, well, basically as long as he can use it. He has a hard tyre yet to come, which will be the slow tyre, and he wants to, as we said before, just use that clean air. That's the important bit. Meanwhile, we have 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th all together on circuit at the moment. Jose Serrano there on the medium compounder tyre. More of a what could have been for Jose Serrano, I think. Had a little bit of some incidents during the Olympic Virtual Series, which means that he's not really going to be a contender, I don't think, for the win here today, but can still podium if he has a good race here.
Yeah, absolutely. Live points you can see on your screen at the moment. Valerio Gallo would be the winner of the Olympic Virtual Series motorsport event here with 39 points to Takuma Mierzona's 35. Mikhail Hazal would be in 3rd on 31. Blazhan in 4th on 26. And Beauvoir, the winner of the first 2 races, let's not forget, down in 5th on 24 place. 4 points rather, I should say. Meanwhile, Constantino there going toe-to-toe with Jose Serrano. The Spaniard there trying to muscle his way through. Constantino, of course, on the softer compound of tyre, but there'll be a little bit more worn compared into the mediums. Miyazono's into the wall. He's into the wall of the chicane. That's a disaster there for the Japanese driver, and it allows Mikael Hazal through into second place. Well, big drama here then. A simple mistake from Miyazono through that chicane has cost him very dear. It's cost him second place. It's cost him third place. It's now going to cost him fourth place here because Inestrosa is on the outside as they come through the final corner. He just manages to muscle out the Chilean driver, which brings Constantino into the foray here as well. Into the slipstream comes Constantino there, but here comes the Greek driver as he tries to pull out of it then and tries to challenge for fourth position. Inestrosa there ready to pounce as well. They're going to flick it right and then go hard on the brakes into the chicane. Is anybody going to think about a move? No, they think better of it. But Miyazono there, well, one simple mistake caused a right chain reaction.
And that, if it finished as it was now, would drop him off the podium as well. So Takuma Miyazono there, that's a mistake we're not used to seeing from a Japanese driver. He is really feeling the pressure here today, and you can see how close it is. You make that one mistake and that's it. You get absolutely steam trained, and unfortunately for Miyazono, he's a victim there and now has it all to do. Jose Serrano in this train as well. Watched it all unfold, and you can see we have 5 cars in front of us. It is that close at the halfway mark here in the Olympic Virtual Series, and it's still all up in the air. We have no idea who we're going to be crowning the winner of the Olympic Virtual Series yet. And I'm speechless because I don't know where to go with that, Tom.
I've got to say, by the way, absolute credit to Angel Inestrosa, by the way, who's involved in this battle. Come back to them in a moment because here comes Miyazono versus Blaža, and they're going side by side for third place. Miyazono's on the inside, 2 by 2 through there. It's going to be very, very brave indeed. They're into the wall on the outside there. Blaža gets back into third place. That's where Miyazono made a hash of it last time, and he doesn't make the same mistake this time around. But now he's really in the clutches of Constantino there, who's going to send it down the inside on the brakes into the final corner. The Greek driver has a look up the inside. Miyazono very firmly tries to shut the door on the apex there. They run very close on the exit. Miyazono's on the curb. On the outside then, they're side by side, wing mirror to wing mirror as they come over the timing line. Back into the slipstream once again there for Constantino, but it's getting very, very frantic in the mid stages. And I'll just finish my earlier thought. I was saying credit to Angel Inestrosa in 7th place on the hard tyre. To keep with this group is very impressive.
Now we have one more pit stop left for everybody on circuit right now, so the real results are really going to reveal themselves in not too long a time. On board though with Constantino as we come into the end of the last sector. Takuma Miyazono in front of us looking, I think it's fair to say, a little bit ragged at the moment, not looking the cool, calm, collected Takuma we're used to seeing. Now really feeling, I think, the pressure of this event as we come back down the hill once again. Meanwhile, Valerio Gallo out front, he's 8 seconds now on Mick Hazal, who's at the end of the start of this little train, we should say, on the hard compound tyre. Mick doing very well to stay there on that hard tyre because he'll be a lot slower than Patrick Blaža, who's starting to have a look, maybe thinking about a move down the bottom here. Looks to the inside, brakes late, but Mick covers it off, and Mick Hazal keeps second for another lap. That's interesting. I mean, he's really making that hard tyre work.
He really is, and the crucial thing here for Mikael Hazal is he's going to be on the soft tyre in the closing stages of this race, so he is going to be away like a stabbed rat, I'm sure, over the course of that last few laps in this one, because he's going to have a lot more grip underneath him compared to everybody else who will be on the hards or indeed the medium compound of tyres. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out here. Blaža pulls out of the slipstream then into the final turn, isn't quite able to make a move there on Hazal, but he'll have superior grip underneath him with that soft compound of tyre. Makes a bit of a mess though of the final corner. Is he going to go into the pit lane then? Is Blaža here, or was it just a simple mistake out of the final turn? He does go into the pit lane then, goes from the soft to the mediums.
So in comes Blaža on that medium compound tyre. We'll see how that pans out as we get to the later stages of this race. Mick Hazal still leading this little pack on that hard tyre, and all the time he's doing that, he's slowing up the cars behind because they have a faster car underneath them right now, but they can't use it because they've got a German driver in their way who's refusing to let them by.
Isn't it interesting how we've kind of got splinter groups in this race here? We've got nothing really going on at the front in terms of Valerio Gallo. He's away and clear with the fairies at the moment, but Hazal, Miyazono, Constantino all battling for second position in this race. Then you look down the road, Inestrosa, Serrano close together with one another, and then further down the order we've got other drivers that are pretty close to each other as well. So it's just interesting to see how the difference in strategy just causes these groups to sort of splinter off with one another.
Yeah, exactly, and of course it's all going to come together when we get our last pit stops becoming very soon. Constantino now looking to try and get past Miyazono, looks to the inside there of the Japanese driver. Miyazono very firmly shuts the door. Hazal, of course, there trying to defend himself from Miyazono, who's gone up the inside. Would it be 2 places lost for Hazal in one corner? I think it will be. Constantino manages to get by as well. He's on the inside of Takuma Miyazono coming into the chicane. It's not usually true breath through here. He has to back out. That would have been a massive crash otherwise. I think that's a bit of a wise decision there by the Greek driver. And Miyazono finally takes back the place he lost after that incident earlier on. It just shows you how much time he lost there from hitting the wall.
Goodness me, I'm glad my microphone was turned off for that, because the noise I let out as Constantino tried to send it up the inside there into that chicane. That would have been very, very risky indeed. Hisal's going to come into the pit lane then. He's getting off of that hard compound of tyre and on to the soft compound of tyre for the closing stages of this race. Inestrosa and Serrano also following him into the pit lane here as they start lap number 12. Here's Constantino then on the back of Takuma Miyazono. Out of the slipstream he pulls into second position. He goes into the chicane for the 12th time then. So it's now the Greek driver on the soft tyre who is having easily his best run of the day, because this is as good as we've ever seen from Constantino there up into second position. Now where's Hisal going to emerge in relation to the rest of the field? He's going to be quite comfortably in a bit of clear air here. So as it all peters out at the moment, it will all begin to close up again in the closing stages, especially with Hisal having a bit of clear air in front of him for now.
That is going to be ideal for Mick Hisal. As you said, clear air on the soft compound tyre. He can go out there and just do qualifying laps to the end. Now that's what he's got to do, really wring the neck of that soft compound tyre, get every tenth of a second. If anyone can do it, we know Mick Hisal can. Meanwhile, Miyazono and Constantino are coming down to the bottom of the course there. Looks like it's going for a move. We're now looking at Valerio Gallo coming through the chicane. How much longer is he going to be on this medium compound tyre? He's been on for a fair bit now. He still has the hard compound left to use, and you can see just the commitment through there. You have to carry that. And when it goes wrong, well, we see what happens, but it hasn't gone wrong so far for Valerio Gallo. Again, easily his best race so far.
Absolutely, third in race one, sixth in race two for the Italian driver, and sitting at the top of the pile as it stands so far. But he's going to come into the pit lane then at the end of lap 12 on to this final compound of tyre, the hard compound of tyre, the slowest compound of tyre. But where is he going to emerge in relation to the rest of the field? Because Patrick Blajan in front has made his second and final stop then in this race. Mikael Hisal getting it very squirrely coming out of that chicane there and closing right up onto the back of the Hungarian as Gallo's in the pits.
So ones to watch, Mick Hisal and Inestrosa, Patrick Blajan. I think this is realistically going to be between towards the end. Of course, we might see some surprises. Sometimes we do. We always welcome them, of course. Right now, Constantino can say that he's officially the end of the Olympic Virtual Series race, which isn't a bad thing to say at all, is it?
No, absolutely not. On the soft compound of tyre is Constantino. They're doing a really good job. Credit to Takuma Miyazono as well on the medium compound. He's just 0.2 of a second adrift. A slower compound of tyre, but certainly keeping up the pace as it stands. There's Valerio Gallo then. He's on the hard tyre to the end of this one, and that is going to be really horrible for him to know that the likes of Patrick Blajan, Mikael Hisal are only 6-7 seconds down the road, but they are on significantly quicker compounds of tyre, and crucially, they have got time to try and close that deficit down. But we cross back to the battle for the race lead at the moment, with Takuma Miyazono trying to get himself ahead of the Greek driver Constantino down in towards the braking zone of the hairpin. We go very close indeed. Was there maybe a little bit of contact into there? Constantino runs it a bit wide on the exit as we ride on board here with Miyazono. We're going to go into the chicane. It'll be one time through there, I can assure you, because anything other than that will result in both of these drivers facing the wrong way before too long. But you can certainly see that Miyazono is looking the quicker of the pair so far.
He's looking quick, but I'm not used to this version of Miyazono. He doesn't look as clean as normal. It looks like he's just not quite gelling right now, and saying that he's looking to try and make the move up the inside of the Greek driver, but I think at this point it's a bit too little too late. They've lost too much time squabbling, and it's all about thinking about the end of the race now. Realistically, it was just a race into the pit lane. So Miyazono won that at least.
Well, yeah, exactly. I suppose that means the advantage for him is he'll come out a little bit ahead. He's got a few litres left of fuel, less than Constantino, but that's not going to affect him at all because it's not coming into play too much in this race. Valerio Gallo, though, comes over the timing line. Then he's going to re-inherit the race lead as these drivers come through. So Constantino there still in the pit lane, as is Miyazono. Where are Hisal and Blajan, though, going to emerge in relation to the two coming out of the pit lane? I think they're going to be quite comfortably ahead by the looks of things, and indeed they are. So it's Gallo from Hisal, from Blajan, from Serrano. That is going to be the battle, with Inestrosa not too far adrift for the win in this race.
So Mick Hisal on the soft compounder tyre. The faster compounder tyre has just over 4 laps now to catch Valerio Gallo. 5 seconds the German driver has to make up. Here is the predicted points on screen. If things ended as they were, Valerio Gallo would be our winner of the Olympic Virtual Series, but Mick Hisal is charging. Jose Serrano's just taken the fastest lap away as well from Valerio Gallo, so that's 1 point less. And if Mick Hisal can grab that as well, it's only going to help him coming towards the end of this race. So now it's all about these next few laps. They've got to be perfect.
Absolutely. Whoever wins this race will become the winner of the Olympic Virtual Series then here. It's all to play for. Here's Serrano down the inside of Blajan for third position. On the brakes into the hairpin. The Spaniard on the soft tyre compared to Blajan's mediums is now ahead. Inestrosa's going to try and join the party here as well before long, because he is also on the softer compound of tyre and will as such be significantly faster than Blajan's mediums coming through the chicane. And is it going to be a setup into the final turn? I'm fairly sure it probably will be here from Inestrosa. They get it a bit squirrely on the exit of that chicane. Into the tunnel they go, and out of it on the other side. Inestrosa is looking very close indeed. He's not quite close enough to launch a move, but he is. It's a late lunge there from Inestrosa. Caught me off guard. Down the inside for the Chilean driver. He relinquishes fourth position ahead then of Blajan, and now it's Serrano versus Inestrosa to see if they can close down the deficit to Hizal in second.
And he had to do that. He had to get that move made. He could not be afforded to be held up by Patrick Blajan now, because these soft runners, it's basically now a sprint to the finish. Here's Baptiste Beauvoir running in 10th place, also on the soft compound of tyre. Again, our winner in the first race and in the second race. Unfortunately, contact at T1 saw him shuffled right to the back of the pack, and he's been trying to drive back through the field ever since. It's been an inspired drive by the Frenchman, but I think it's really going to be a little bit too little for him, even for him to try and get up into the podium paying positions. But we'll see what he can do. We know Baptiste performs well under pressure, and he is absolutely wringing the neck of this car right now as he comes into the first sector. Tom, at the moment, I'm just noticing that gap between Valerio Gallo and Mick Hizal down to 3.5 seconds. It's coming down at every corner. Hizal is gaining.
Absolutely right there, Jimmy. I'm really keen to see what Mikael Hizal is going to be able to do. We just saw a brief flash of the point standings, and it would be 3 drivers for the second runner-up position, separated by just 1 point. So that's going to be really crucial there for Baptiste Beauvoir. If he can make a position ahead of Cho or Constantinu, then he could be in with a right shout of securing that third position, which will be some kind of consolation for that second runner-up spot then. Let's see what is going to happen though with the race lead. 2.6 seconds. It now sits between Gallo and Mikael Hizal. This is going to be very close, and you can guarantee that Hizal, if he gets close enough, he's going to have a lunge.
He can see Gallo now, and that's part of the psychology that goes on. You can see the guy ahead. You're like, right, okay, I'm coming for you. This is going to be my position. 2.3 seconds now between Mick Hizal and Valerio Gallo. There's plenty of time for him to catch him, but we all know catching someone is one thing and getting by quite another, my friend. Angel Inestrosa now looking to try and get by Jose Serrano, who currently holds the fastest lap of the race. Angel Inestrosa to the inside, late on the brakes, gets the move done, but will Serrano get the cut back here? He's looking at the inside, he might get it done. No, Angel just sits on the apex, slows up Jose Serrano and takes third position.
Inestrosa absolutely loves these race cars. He's doing a great job out there in these Group 3 Toyota GR Supra Racing concept machines. Into the right-hander we go. It's now advantage Inestrosa in third position. Can he build up a gap though to Jose Serrano? Those two running on exactly the same tyre compounds, exactly the same strategies though in this race. So it all comes down to their pure pace to see whether they can close down the deficit though to this man, because it's now down to under 2 seconds for the first time for the race lead between Valerio Gallo and between Mikael Hizal. And the crucial question is, when is he going to pounce? It's not going to be a case of if, because you know he will, but when is he going to choose his moment to strike?
I can't believe this, Tom. The first ever Olympic Virtual Series, and it's going to come down to the last few laps between 2 of the best sim drivers in the world. Valerio Gallo, Mick Hizal chasing down the Italian driver, not because Valerio is slow, because he's on the hard compound of tyre. He doesn't have as much speed in the back behind them as well. Third and fourth, absolutely going at it. Serrano wants to try and get that place back from Angel Inestrosa. Looks to the inside of the last corner. He's going to have the right line here. Heavy on the brakes, takes the place back up into third goes the Spaniard, and Angel Inestrosa's going to have to try and wait another lap.
Fantastic driving there from Jose Serrano, making his move stick. Meanwhile, Baptiste Beauvoir is right onto the back of Stanford Cho then here. Into the final corner we go, and he is going to have a real slipstream in front of him. Of course, the disadvantage there for Beauvoir is, of course, that Cho in front also has a slipstream in the form of Constantinu, who is in 8th position just up the road from him. But can Beauvoir set something up onto the brakes? Arguably, you'd say he's the faster of the 2 drivers, given the pace that we've seen so far. He's going to go late on the brakes into the chicane. Beauvoir is down the inside into 9th position. He's a bit deep, though, into that corner, runs it to the apex, and that's going to allow Cho possibly an opportunity to try and retaliate there. They run side by side on the corner exit. Beauvoir is going to be on the inside, though, as they flick it into the right-hander. The French Frenchman still holds on to ninth place.
And Baptiste needs this. He needs this to finish on the podium. He's currently right now in third in the standings, only just so on predicted points. So, but at the front of the field, here it is, less than a second now between Valerio Gallo and Mick Hazal. A lap and a half remains, and Mick has Valerio Gallo right in his sights. It's going to be one more lap. Look how much he gains in the braking zone. The advantage of a soft compound tyre really showing now, but it's got to be perfect. There's still about a second between them.
Absolutely. Where is he going to go for that move between Valerio Gallo and between Mikael Hazal? Flicking it right, flicking it left through that chicane. This is where that soft tyre will have so much more grip underneath him, and you can see Hazal is just absolutely threading that eye of a needle through that chicane. The gap is now down to 0.8 of a second. We're coming through into the final lap between Gallo and Hazal. It's winner takes all stakes here as we see Serrano down the inside of Inestrosa, nearly into the final corner we go. No move being made there between Serrano and Inestrosa. It stays as it is for the time being. We're coming on to the final lap though here for the race lead. It's now the start of the final lap. Here's Serrano then. He's going to pull out of the slipstream on Inestrosa side by side for third position. This is getting very tasty indeed, and of course it is still going to be the battle for the race lead. Into the right-hander we go. They're going to flick it left though. Inestrosa's got the inside line on the brakes, flicks it left. Serrano's on the outside through there. Brilliant driving, great clean racing between the two. Fantastic respect as well. Serrano's back in front.
Yeah, great move by Serrano, but I'm looking at the battle for the lead. It's 6/10 now between Gallo and Hazal. There it is. There's Valerio Gallo. There's Mick Hazal, the 2019 Nations Cup champion. He is the champion for a reason, and he is now right on the back of Valerio Gallo, but I don't think he's close enough, Tom. It's only half a second now. He's realistically got two more chances, and there's just too much of a gap.
Absolutely. He needs a really, really good run through this left-hander and to send it on the brakes into the hairpin there. He's using every inch of the track there. Is Mikael Hazal to find an opportunity to get close to Valerio Gallo. They're going to come very, very close into the hairpin and very close indeed into the chicane, because that is where the soft tyre will have more grip. Into the final corner is realistically where Mikael Hazal is surely going to strike for the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. It's Gallo versus Mikael Hazal. Winner takes all stakes. Into the chicane we go. It's deep from Mikael Hazal though. I'm sure he ran it a bit deep into there. He gets a good exit though. He's got the slipstream here. Hazal versus Gallo then for the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. Gallo goes defensive. Hazal goes to the outside into the final corner. Brilliantly close racing as they run side by side. Hazal's on the exit. He's onto the curb. Gallo is going to take the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. Absolutely fantastic driving. It's Valerio Gallo who becomes the winner of the 2021 Olympic Virtual Series. Phenomenal racing ahead of Mikael Hazal. Jose Serrano finishes in third position in that race. What a phenomenal, brilliant race. What a grand final we have had.
And just look what it means to Valerio Gallo. He is shocked. He is exhausted. That was the race of his life, and that was well earned for Valerio Gallo, our first ever Olympic Virtual Series winner. Congratulations.
Well, goodness me, what a race. Valerio Gallo then takes top honours in the grand final for the... Our second runner-up from France, Baptiste Beauvoir. Motorsport event from Italy, it's Valerio Gallo! Yes, what a fantastic performance from all of our drivers. This has been the best day ever, particularly if you're our first Olympic...